stressors or traumas that are life-threatening or where you have no choice in what to do, but oftentimes individuals can be very different in how they perceive a certain trauma. So it can be something as life-threatening as being in a war situation or in a rape and assault situation, but it can also be as life-threatening as feeling totally powerless and helpless in certain
car accidents.
Car accidents.
So car accidents are a good one. So natural disasters. How does the brain want to push these thoughts away when these bad events happen? Is there a part of us that go, that didn't happen?
There can be a denial piece to it, but in a disassociation piece to it, people can check out of that event.
And that's a coping mechanism.
That's a coping strategy.
Right.
They can, to push it out, it's more of a survival mode for the body, because you're talking fight, flight, or freeze.
Okay.
Okay. If you are in a flight mode and you can't get away, there's going to be some trauma.
Right.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, or you can't
Go on survival mode for a short period of time or a long period of time. It puts them in a mode where they pretty much have to protect themselves and be more cautious.
Clients believe that they're kind of going crazy through the process, and so part of the process is normalizing that no, this is really normal for some of the stuff that you're going through. When you think about what you've experienced, that kind of thing, then it relates biologically to that time period.
Do you guys have group counseling then, where they can share with another person that it's not so abnormal?
Or similar ways as they do.
So they're not alone.
So they're not alone, or they're not crazy. And so when you hear it in a certain group situation where, for example, there is a group that we may hold amongst women, and amongst those women there are various experiences of domestic violence or assault, then when they listen to each other, they can support each other. The symptoms of post-traumatic stress may come 6 months after the event or years after the event.
I remember a movie, Patton, where he come in off the battlefield and the guy he was messed up from the battle emotionally, and Patton went ahead and slapped him and told him to suck it up and get back on the battlefield. Now, is that some of the stereotypes with post-traumatic stress? Is that it's a weakness, or it's a stop being weak? You know, you hear it all the time, suck it up, you're a man, you know, for the cases with men.
It can be externally or internally imposed.
Okay.
That you should do this, or you should do this, and you need to suck it up. Or it could be coming from the outside saying, you need to, you know, step up, you're letting down your crew or whatever.
Right,
you know.
right.
But the internal piece is also a part of it.
And the key is, you don't have to live like this. I mean,
Absolutely not.
right, and
there's help out there, there's treatment available, there's resources, there's support groups, there's a lot of things.
what are some of the treatments available?
EMDR.
And what does that process involve?
It's basically they call it eye movement desensitization reprocessing, and what it is, we don't really use the light system. We use more of a therapamper, which is a hand. It's
Right.
Physical, external.
Okay.
While you're processing the internal event and the trauma.
While you're talking with a counselor,
Yeah.
trained staff?
Yeah. But there's a bit of a time. You have to assess the person and get them ready.
So it's not like they come in and you
No.
start working with that type of treatment?
No, you can't just go boom into it.
It's a
Right.
latter phase of treatment.
Yeah.
It's a latter phase of treatment?
Where they're able to know that they're safe, they have the resources internally and externally to deal with the emotional anxiety, the depression. They need to know, and the therapist also needs to assess that they can take care of themselves.
Right.
That they are safe as they reprocess the trauma.
And that they have available supports in the community
Absolutely.
and things of that sort as well.
In the community, at home, and internally, support network if there is one available.
That they feel relatively stable. in their
Right.
lives.
See, that's good to
That
know.
they're not using, too.
Right.
That's an important thing, that they're not using drugs or alcohol or any substances that are used to cope.
To make you think you're feeling good.
Absolutely.
Right.
Although there's a spike when you're dealing with trauma on not-so-positive coping patterns and habits. So it's something.
What is that?
A spike. What I mean by that is that if the person starts working through this trauma event, there could be a spike where they would really want to use more heavily.
Because they're dealing with so much.
The emotional pieces there, and
Yeah.
now it's right there.
And that's what they've used for so long as a mechanism. Yeah. Yeah.
EMDR is a tool, but any counselor or therapist or anyone trained in trauma work can help a client who feels that at that moment they don't know what to do. There's a crisis center here that will, see clients immediately. Doctors will help patients right away if they need that help. There is help available. They can walk in and get the help available if they feel that they're lost or they feel that they don't know what to do.
Well,
The chemistry?
the chemistry, your body chemistry changes when you're in the flight mode or the trauma mode.
Right.
You're getting exposed to the trauma. That's probably the better way of saying it. But the thing is, you automatically go into that emotional side of the brain versus the thinking side, and the thinking and the emotional do not always connect.
Now, do CAT scans and MRI show a difference in the brain?
Yeah, research shows that it does show that.
It's more recent research too.
And what can a loved one do? If they see that the person they love is struggling with an issue from their past, how do they approach that person?
It depends on the person. It would probably, the loved ones will have a pretty good feel for what might work and what might not work. But a simple, hey, let's go get some help can be helpful. Hey, do you think we should go and take a look at what's going on here?
Yeah. So know the person and know the approach, wait for the right time maybe?
Right time?
Or
It's hard to say if there's ever a really right time. If it's something that's going on, it probably should be, how can you best work?
The question of how can I help you? Do you need me to go to counseling with you right at this moment for support or whatever? Giving that person that control is really, really important.
so giving them the control back that they gave away without really knowing it. Right. They compromised something in their life.
And a loved one who sees someone suffering from PTSD is affected by that too. So, and it could take a while before, things become conflictual or chaos continues. And so that loved one needs to take care of themselves too.
Right.
So they may need counseling. They may need help finding resources available for them so that they don't spend all their time trying to take care of their partner.
Now, family counseling service has been around close to 100 years.
Yeah.
All in the Wausau area?
Yeah.
Great
Wow.
Wausau
I
area.
think they started out with flood
Yeah.
response and
Yeah.
then moved into a variety of different
Food
Yeah.
and
There was a-
clothing
Yeah.
for people in need. Our agency answered community needs.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies, for taking the time today, talking with us at CNN iReports, and we hope that we're at the Family Counseling Services in Wausau, Wisconsin. We just got done with a really nice interview about post-traumatic stress disorder.